guys, welcome to a healthy living video blog. It's a beautiful day in Miami. This is Ruben.
You know, Aaron.
It's a little bit windy, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna teach you some exercises out here in the park again. What we're gonna do, Ruben?
Today we're working on hip extension. There was some concerns on working, the hip glute area. Well, this is a brief description on how to go from a really easy movement to a much more complicated to a really more explosive single leg movement.
So we're going to show you a very simple exercise how to get the butt in shape as soon as possible. Watch and learn.
Alright guys, now you see Aaron on the floor. He's got his back to the ground and feet on the ground. He's gonna go into hip extension. He's using mostly his glutes. A lot of people have a big gap of weakness in this muscle, so it's very important that we train it properly. He's going from a two-legged progression to a single leg progression. It's a big jump, but stay with it. Take your time, and each set that you do these exercises should last anywhere from 60 to 120 seconds under tension. It's a grueling exercise. It looks easy, but it will be really hard on your behind. But it's one way to build this. Squeeze up when you come up. Following the progression, you see me with my back on the ground and the ball underneath my legs. I have the ball pretty close to my hips to make it a easier progression. Then I move the ball to my calves, which it will be the second progression, making it a little harder. And the following one will be actually to have the ball underneath my feet, as you can see right now. This not only adds into hip extension, but it requires balancing because the ball is very unstable. And it makes it harder, of course, but you can integrate abdominals and your hip musculature all together. Now I go to a progression that's fairly quite a jump when you do single leg exercises. Here you have to blast your glutes a little harder, and the balancing will be a little harder also as well. And you go from leg to leg. Now we're going to spend about 60 seconds per set because those muscles will fatigue really fast, and you want to train them in the right progression. Aram now takes a little bit of a back step, and he goes with his back on the ball and the feet on the ground. This makes it a little easier, but it's recruiting neurologically a little bit different. Sometimes you have to do this exercise before you do the one that you just saw me doing earlier. All right, he's gonna go nice and slow. He's gonna take his time, and he's still building up on that. The next progression is doing a single-legged hip extension with the back on the ball with support. You see my hand on the tree. I will change legs back and forth and spend about 60 seconds per set. On the next one, I will be actually using no hands, which makes it a lot harder. Now stability factor and balance is huge, so you have to take your time and be careful with it. Maintain something nearby in case you lose your balance so you don't crash on the floor and hurt yourself, and try to remove anything that you might bump against you. It's very important that you don't hurt yourself when you're exercising because it will set you back several weeks. Now in this exercise here, you see me with my back on the floor, the heels on top of the ball, and I'm doing what's called a supine hip extension knee flexion. This is a fairly hard exercise, and it does put a lot more emphasis on the knee flexors at the same time that you stand in your hips. This exercise now is much harder, and it should be done very explosively because it is that kind of exercise, and that's what the glutes need. This exercise will make your glutes nice and strong, so keep up with it. Your butt already looks better. Keep up with it, guys.